Friday Night Live with Cat Carter. Get ready, set, let's go. Come on. It's Friday night. It's Friday Night Live. It's Friday night. It's Friday night with Cat Carter. It's Friday night. Hey. It's Friday night. It's Friday night. Yeah. It's Friday night with Cat Carter. It's Friday night. It's Friday Night Live. It's Friday night. It's Friday night with Cat Carter.
Hey, welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Cat Carter. How's everybody doing on this Friday, April the 28th? I can't believe April has already gone. That was kind of fast. Well, I'm glad it's Friday. I don't know about y'all, but I'm glad. I enjoy Friday Night Live. We get to worship and kind of unwind after a tough week. And it's been a doozy for me, I tell you. But Friday Night Live is a positive platform where we come to inform, innovate, and inspire. I am just so excited about my artist or my guest that's here tonight. Basically, because he is very busy. He is stretched all over the place. And I've known him since 2006. And what I love most about him and his wife is that they are very active and they are advocates for change and positivity in the community. So he does a lot of stuff. He's a saxophonist and a medical doctor. And so he does a lot with the community, with the medical community. And he's always been a great encouragement for me and my vision. So I have Dr. Ronald Rembert Jr., MD, in the hizzy. Yes. So let me tell you a little bit about him, and I'm going to bring him on, and then I have kidnapped him for the entire hour. And we go, now y'all already know every time Dr. Rembert comes here, you just don't know what might jump off. I'm just saying. So y'all just get ready. All right. So Dr. Rembert is a musician and a physician in Chicago that enjoys using music to break boundaries and bring people closer to Jesus Christ. He says that music is universal and goes beyond language and culture to touch hearts and minds. Allow him to touch your heart and mind through his music. Please welcome back to Friday Night Live, my brother, Dr. Ronald Rembert Jr.
Hey everybody, how are you?
That was a great introduction, wasn't it? I know you like it.
I'll send you the check later. Okay.
Oh, okay. How are you doing? Oh my gosh.
Doing well. How are you, Kat?
I am good now that you are on here. We're going to have us a good old time. Let me put your website up under there. Awesome. And so we got quite a bit to talk about. So I don't want to prolong the time. So I'm going to get right into these questions. We got videos, we got events, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about, don't we?
Yes, indeed.
How have you been since the last time we saw you? When's the last time you've been on the show? Has it been a year?
Oh, wow. Yeah, it was sometime last year. Yeah, been busy. A lot of changes, a lot of great things going on. So we'll get into some of that during the show, but it's been a blessed but a busy time.
Yes. All right. So for those of you that don't know Dr. Rembert, kind of tell them who or what inspired you to start playing the saxophone.
Okay. Started playing the saxophone actually in grammar school. I remember my mom had us taking all kinds of music lessons, piano, violin, flute. I mean, you name it. I was just like this music lesson out at one point. And she transferred us from this Catholic school we used to go to this magnet school on the west side. Mm-hmm. It was a school for the performing arts. So at that school, you had to do music, drama, visual arts, dance, all of those things. And while I was there, started off playing the clarinet. And it was horrible. It was absolutely, my teacher was just like, give me that clarinet back, because I think I sounded like a wounded animal or something like that every time I played it. I think I took it home once and tried to play it, and the dogs in the neighborhood were just howling. So I was like, I don't think this is my instrument. So she took the clarinet and gave me a saxophone, and I've been playing ever since. And I fell in love with the saxophone. Started playing in grammar school, doing music competitions and things like that, playing with bands, and then just kept playing.
You know what? See, I didn't know that you played the clarinet, and I didn't know that you played the flute. Now, Dr. Rimber can play the keyboard. Now, I knew that,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew you could play the sax, but I didn't know about that other stuff. So I learned something new. Oh my
Well,
goodness!
I don't play the clarinet. That's why I'm on the saxophone. My teacher almost slapped it out my hand one class. Like,
Like,
don't play that. Don't play that. Mm-mm.
what motivates you to create your music? So basically, most of the music that you play, is it inspirational? Is it
Mhm.
Christian? Is it gospel? What motivates you to play that type of music or create that type of music?
Well, gospel is a message, and it's a message of hope through Jesus Christ. So I enjoy playing and sharing gospel music, but I love music in general. I listen to everything, and I've started writing, like, music, not just gospel music, but just music that has a message to it. And as you mentioned, music is universal. It goes beyond language, it goes beyond culture, it touches people in ways that only music can. So I began, and I'm still learning how powerful music can be. So tapping into that and using that not only to convey a message, but music can also be healing. I've seen it where, you know, people have listened to music and it just changes their mood, their how they're feeling. It changes their perspective. And it's been times music has helped me through some of the roughest times in my life. So I love using music as a tool to touch, to inspire, and to heal.
I can attest for that, especially like when I don't feel good or like when I've been in the hospital. They call it healing music, but
Mhm,
I listen to that. Or like if I'm having a hard day, I'll just turn on some Christian music and just
mhm,
kind of meditate, and I just always feel better. It's just
mhm,
something about that. Not that R&B. I don't listen to R&B as much as I do Christian. Not that that is not encouraging, but the Christian gospel positive music,
mhm.
every time it gets me every time. So I can definitely attest for that. It
Yeah,
is a healing. It can be a healing mechanism for people. All right.
definitely can.
So let's do one of your performances. I have I don't know which one I want to do first because you gave me so many. Let's do circles. Tell us about circles.
Okay. Well, Circles is a song about how sometimes we get involved in going in the same cycle over and over again, and how we can learn from what we go through, and how God can teach us how to break those cycles to get to where we're trying to go.
All right. Here we go. Circles. Y'all enjoy.
Circles. And we go in circles, trying to figure out where I am today. The sky was so purple, and the wind was blowing every single way. Looked like a storm for me. As I looked up into the sky, soon it will show me each cloud trying to cry. I'm looking for shelter. I need shelter from the rain. Life's so helter-skelter. Life had me filled with so much pain. Sick of the circles, tired of going round and round, moving just like a turtle. Now it's time for me to get up off the ground, still spinning around like a top moving on the floor. I keep hitting the ground while I'm looking for an open door. Can somebody help me? Or will you just watch me and stare? Can somebody tell me which way to be free and how to get there? Time cycles of the circles. It's time to be free. Lord, open the circle. Yeah. It's time for me to have peace. Now I'm free from the circles, free from the circles. No more going round and round. Overcame all the hurdles, overcame all the hurdles. Time for me to wear my crown. Now I'm free from the circles, free from the circles. No more going round and round. Overcame all the hurdles, overcame all the hurdles. Now it's time for me to wear my crown, 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 crown. Thank you, Lord, for my crown, 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 crown. Thank you, Lord, for my crown. Yeah. Thank you, Lord, for my crown. Yeah. Thank you, Lord, for my crown. Thank you, Lord, for my crown. Yeah. Thank you, Lord, for my crown.
Dr. Render, I was looking for my tiara, my crown. I have one. We had Women's Day at my church, Mount Joy, last year, and
Awesome.
we had crowns. And when I heard crown, I was looking for it. And as a
Okay.
matter of fact, we're getting ready to start working on our next Women's Day. So you all stay tuned, especially the people in Southern Illinois. I'll be giving you all information about that very soon. Yeah. So when you said crown, I was like, what my crown?
Mm-mm.
So I would have came back. You know, I'm kind of crazy. If I could put my hands on it, I would have had it. Yeah. So that I was listening to the words of that, like going in circles and thanking Lord for my crown, and just if you listen to the words, they can be encouraging, very encouraging. So thank you
Definitely.
for that. The name of that again, guys, was Circles by Dr. Ronald Rembert Jr. All right. So, Dr. Rembert, you know what? I saw you. I'm always lurking on your page, and I saw that you were uh, you were spotlighted with Johnson and Johnson on a
Mhm.
couple of things, and I really wanted to talk about that.
Okay.
Um, the first one that I saw, I have a picture. I have a picture somewhere. It was. I thought this was very awesome. They were talking about people that had inspired us in 2022,
Mhm.
and you were one of the people on there. There it is. Yeah. So what is going on with that? I should have had the names of everybody else because I know these are all influential people. Y'all see Dr. Ronald Rembert over there? So what was going on with this? How did you get to be one of the seven people that have has inspired us in 2022, according to Johnson and Johnson? That's major.
Well, I was honored just to hear about this. I participate and work with an organization called National Medical Fellowships that provides scholarships and programs for underrepresented minorities in medicine. I've worked with them for several years, and they recently have a new president by the name of Micheline Davis, very dynamic African American woman
Mm,
who has really been looking for strategic partnerships and ways to increase not only the number of African American, Latinos, and underrepresented minorities in medicine, but also looking for other opportunities to just increase representation across the board in healthcare. National Medical Fellowships has a partnership in place with Johnson and Johnson, and they started this program called the Doctor Program, the NMF DCTR program, to
Mm-hmm.
increase the number of minority principal researchers that can do medical research and utilize their clinical backgrounds, their research backgrounds, their academic backgrounds, and take that and utilize not only the research, but how to take that research and apply it into clinical practice where we can save lives, where we can change lives, where we can make life better by coming up with different, cures, solutions, medications,
Mm-hmm.
treatment plans, but utilizing clinical research to do this. So I was in the initial cohort in that program and completed that program. And even myself and others who have been a part of that program are looking at ways to not only increase underrepresented minorities in research, but actually working on different research that will be beneficial to communities, not only here in the United States, but potentially all over the world.
Wow, that's major. When you were talking about that, even the research, I started thinking about just the health system as a whole, how there's so much disparity, especially when it comes to African Americans and really also African American women in healthcare as far as getting adequate healthcare. Or so I mean, I was listening to that and I thought that was really, really good. I mean, um, I congratulations on being spotlighted with Johnson and Johnson. That was major. I also saw another one. I saw this one, Ron.
Mhm.
3 ways Johnson and Johnson is working to boost the number of diverse doctors. And
Mhm.
so let me move this out the way so you guys can see. Got the names of everybody there. So Dr. Rembert, you see Dr. Rembert? You see that?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Diversity.
So Dr. Rembert, are these your colleagues or
They are actually different people in that program or who are participating in increasing the number of minorities in medicine. Emily Soto is actually an optometry student, but also very active in trying to get other underrepresented minorities into optometry. And Dr. Paris Butler is a plastic surgeon who is also doing various programs trying to increase the number of underrepresented minorities, not only in medicine, but in surgery as well.
Yeah, I was reading on Dr. Butler. I think he's stationed at Yale University, if I'm
Mhm.
not mistaken. Yeah, I thought this was really awesome. All right, so congratulations on that.
Thank
Wow,
you.
that's
Thank
major.
you.
That's major. And I want to give kudos to Johnson and Johnson to stand out. To step out and do stuff like this. Okay. Um, has your music evolved? If it has, how has it evolved over time?
Well, it has evolved, and it's funny because it seems like the older I get, the more I understand just how powerful music can be. I know a lot of the stuff I did earlier on was, very melodic and slow and things like that. And I see that even as I continue to grow musically, I'm starting to try and do even more and more up-tempo stuff like, circles or even things along those lines where it actually gets people up and moving.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's when you touch people a certain way where they hear the beat and they feel it, then they start hearing what you're saying behind it. And when I was doing a lot of the slower and stuff, I mean, I love that, and I love real, mellow, jazzy music. I love instrumentals, and I still do a lot of that. But at the same time, it's like when you can get somebody up and out of their seat and they moving and they grooving with you and they feel what you're doing, it just hits people a certain way. So it's like I started understanding that, and you can kind of hear the shift in the music. And I know in that last CD I did, Higher,
Mm-hmm.
that last track I put on there was like a remix of a song called I Love You. And it's like I did it in a more up-tempo fashion. And
Mm-hmm.
it just hits a different way. So it's just understanding that even what you hear on the radio now, what you hear on commercials, what you hear in movies and TV, it's stuff that gets people up, it gets them inspired, it gets them moving. So it's like if you can reach people that way, they're going to hear the message that you're including in that music as well.
Well, that's interesting. So, like in that order, like get them interested, moving, then they start listening to the words. That's interesting. I've never heard it explained quite like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Let's do another video. What I have next? I'm going to do "Speak to My Heart."
Okay.
So you were on the top of the Sears Tower. Where were you at when you did this one? Well, it's not
This
Sears Tower anymore. It's
Willis Tower.
thank you, Willis Tower. I just call it
Exactly.
Sears. Hmm.
I was actually at a Juneteenth celebration for a company in Fulton Market, which is like downtown Chicago.
Hmm.
And it's funny because that entire area has been revitalized and redone. I mean, you've got companies, all kinds of companies moving in there. And I actually grew up on that street on Fulton as a child. I
Oh, you
grew up
did?
a few miles west of where I was actually playing on that rooftop. I grew up, and it's funny because there's a restaurant over there called the Timeout Cafe or Timeout Marketplace that I sometimes go to with my family, and they have a rooftop area. And I wasn't on their rooftop. I was on a building nearby.
Hmm.
But I remember sitting on the rooftop with my family and looking west on Fulton towards where I grew up and thinking how much everything has changed, that entire community. So had a chance to play on Juneteenth last year, and that's where I was playing.
All right. You all enjoy this. We've heard it before. This is one of my favorites that you do. "Speak to My Heart" is originally by is that Donnie McClurkin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
it is.
this is a familiar one. Okay, you guys enjoy.
shoe.
Yes, sir. Yes, you want the shoe? Don't hit me. Throw it at the screen for Dr. Rembert. Yeah, let's do that. I'll throw it at the
Just
screen for
knocking
Dr.
stuff
Rembert.
down.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there. Okay, what sound effect? Okay, okay. Speak to my heart, Holy Spirit. Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Okay. They like that. Yes, yes, yes. Speak to my heart. That's a beautiful rendition that you did. OMG. And I can hear the wind a little bit. Like you can tell
Mhm.
you're on the top of the roof.
You see, I
Woo.
wasn't standing nowhere near the edge. Like,
You
no,
sure
this wind
wasn't.
is
Right.
not
You like
picking up.
blown
Like,
off.
you see me like, Lord, no, no, this wind blowing.
Was it cold up there? It was just windy.
No, it was just windy. It was real windy. So it's like I had everything, tried to anchor it and make sure stuff wasn't falling down because I had a music stand up there. So I ain't putting no music on that stand. That stuff would have been down on State Street by the time I looked up. It would have flew off the roof and just kept going. So I just had a tablet sitting on there that had some music and stuff in it. But
Mhm.
I was just trying to anchor everything. And that wind started picking up. I'm like, whoo, thank God I ain't got no hair. That's been flying all over. They're just all over. You be like, oh my God, what happened? What look is that?
For those of y'all who do not know, Dr. Ronald Rembert was one of my guests for my first concert with FNL. That's not the first concert that I've done, but it's the first one that I've done with Friday Night Live. And I'm looking forward to doing some more soon. So
Mhm.
you all stay tuned. Okay. If you could start your musical career all over again, what would you do differently?
Um, I don't know. See, that's the thing. It's like I've had a chance to play with different people and different groups and meet different people. Probably try and solicit more advice from people along the way because it's like a lot of the stuff, it was like picking up and learning, and then you find out about, different ways of recording or doing things from other folks. And I mean, that's always helpful. And
Mm-hmm.
you'd love to have somebody who could mentor you in that. But at the same time, it's like, mentors aren't always readily available, especially in the music industry. So it's just like,
And you got to be careful. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's like, I've seen a lot of craziness. So it's like, you want to learn from folks, but you also want to be careful because it's, so many, I mean, artists that have their stuff taken or stolen or misused or what have you. And, fortunately, I've gone through that rarely. There's maybe a couple times where I'm like, wait, ain't that my music playing? And it's like contacting folks like, where'd you get that music from? They're like, oh, yeah, that is yours. Yeah. I'm like,
I
so,
remember you called me about something I was playing on the show. I'm just playing.
no, it wasn't you. That's
I
the
know it wasn't
thing.
me. I know it
It's
wasn't
like,
me.
no, you have permission to play my stuff. You see what I'm saying? This person, I'm
Oh my
sitting there listening
gosh.
to the radio and hear like one of the songs from my CD playing, and it's on a commercial. I'm like,
Oh.
who is the? And then I'm like, I know who did this. And then I called them, and they're like, yeah, I'm like, dude, don't do that. Or if you're gonna do it, just pay me.
Yeah, that's a
So
very
it's
sticky
a
area when
lot
they
of stuff
monetizing
like
it.
that.
Yeah, that's not
You
right.
know,
Okay. Um, if you could change anything about the musical industry, what would it be?
transparency, just people being more transparent in what they're doing and how they're doing it, and just I remember going to this music conference in Chicago, and there was a guy who used to run, what was it? I think either Tommy Boy Records or I can't even think of the record company, but he saw so much craziness and corruption in the music industry, especially in terms of those contracts that they have artists sign with these labels, that he
Mm-hmm.
had came up with a one-page contract that was very transparent. And a lot of those labels didn't like it because, they use those contracts to take advantage of people. I remember a gentleman I knew, he had a 10 album deal with some record label. And first few albums he did well. So, they kept pushing him, go and finish the 10 album. Fourth album didn't do well, so they shelved it. Like they didn't really put it out and asked him for 6 more albums. And he's like, wait a minute, you didn't even put out the other album. Like, I can't even recoup the money I spent to record it if you're not going to release it. And it's like, from that point on, he just walked away. He just, basically said, I'm not going to continue doing it, and went into a completely different field. Wow. So it's just, if the music industry was far more transparent, where, you could actually know what you're getting into and know what it takes, because it can be very crazy. And it's a lot of artists that are fantastic, singers, musicians, just artists, but they've become so jaded by the industry that they don't want to participate any longer.
Yeah. That's sad too, because then we lose out on experiencing their gift, and those gifts are really the really good ones that we kind of miss out on. Okay, so it's half past the hour, a little bit half past the hour. We need to do some trivia. Yeah, it goes fast, I know, right? So Dr. Rembert, I gotta do some trivia, so hang tight. Okay. Let's see. Don't be trying to tell the answers. See, Dr. Rembert be trying to help folks and stuff. Today we're going to be giving away one of Dr. Rembert's CD, Higher. And one of my past guests, she's a counselor, a college counselor, and she has a book, Solutions, Your Solution Guide for the Puzzling College Process. It's a Black girl's journey. I have a couple of these. I know the school semester is about to end in May, but there you have some new people starting college in the fall this year. And so this is a nice little book. So if you would like this, if you have someone in your family that's about to go to college, this would be really good, especially a young lady or, I mean, it'd be good for a man too, but this is her experience as a Black girl trying to go to college. If you put it in the comments, I have a couple to give away as well. All right, so here is the trivia question right here. All right. Oh, let me take Dr. Rembert's. In which Washington state city is Microsoft Corporation headquarters located? Bet you don't know. Bet you don't know. Bet you don't know. Bet you don't know. So those are your choices. Dr. Rembert went to go get some water. So while you all are doing that, there he is. You know what it is, don't you? I know you know what it is. Don't you tell it.
I went to go get some water.
I knew. I told y'all he went to go get some water. Yeah. So put that answer in the comments. We'll find out a little bit later who's the winner. And again, if you're interested, or if you know a young lady that's getting ready to go to college, you want one of these, put it in the comments for me. I don't know if many of you all saw the post that I put on Facebook that I would probably be having to shut down my show on Facebook. What is happening is I'm getting bogus emails, and they're coming to my main email. I don't know how they're finding out my main email, but they pretend to be like Facebook. They look like they're Facebook type of email, and what they're trying to do is get information. I think they're trying to get my page or whatever, and they almost, I mean, it was early in the morning, and I knew to check with one of my DJ friends in New York, and he looked at it and he was like, no, this is spam. So you guys be careful, like when you all getting that stuff. Me, I have to be very careful. You have just crooks just taking people's pages and doing all kinds of stuff, but they were asking for all kinds of information, like my login, and it was really weird because that email is not even on Facebook, so I don't even know. That's not the email to contact me, so I don't understand how they found it, but they did. So when that happened, I thought it would be good to just let you all know if something were to happen, you do have other options to watch. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch, we have our Instagram back up, and we should be getting that done soon. And then I'm on LinkedIn. I can stream live on LinkedIn. I just don't right now, but I can. I've gotten the requirement, so I can. And then I'm working on TikTok, but I'm kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with that, with what I've been seeing in the news. So you do have other options if for some reason you come to Facebook and then I'm not there. All right, Dr. Rembert. Let's go back and talk about, you know what I want to talk about? Y'all, do y'all remember Dr. Rembert had this Italian leather gym shoe that he had designed? Do y'all remember that?
Gucci slides.
They were wearing them downtown in Chicago. But they're called the One Lux. Tell us about the One Lux. Now these are like
wow.
all I think they're kind of cool actually. I'm just saying with the stars and
They
stuff.
Gucci slides.
They're comfortable. They're very comfortable and they're made to order.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
So,
Italian leather. That's real deal.
yes, indeed. It's funny because it's like I always wanted to have my own shoes, and I remember I found out about this company called Alive Shoes that's based out of Italy that will partner with you where you can create your own shoes and sell them. And they're made to order. You just, have to have a certain number of orders for them to go into production. And I did one shoe called the Anointed Ones, which are low top, black and white gym shoes. And after those, I sold some of those, not a whole lot, but I mean, was able to sell some. I wanted to do a high top shoe. And this one's a little more luxurious, a little more flashy.
I like the stars.
And I just ran with it and ended up getting a few orders for it. But I mean, I just always wanted to have my own gym shoes. So doing that, and I do have them for sale on my page, theanointedsacks.com. If you're interested in purchasing, definitely go on the page.
I think it's wonderful to step out the boat and at least try. I mean, if you never do, you won't know. At least you're getting out the boat and trying different things instead of being scared and staying in the boat. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. When you turn 60, I should have done. But at least you're out there doing it, So
some of my colleagues were just blown away. They're like, "Wait a minute, you got your own gym shoe?" And then I had them
Italian
on, and they
leather.
were like,
Excuse me.
"Those are nice." Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting phone calls and stuff like, "Man, he got his own shoe. Look around. Those Aarons or something like that." I'm like,
Not
not
Aarons.
quite. I know. I'm like, not quite. But you can go to anointedsacks.com and purchase some if you want some. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What advice could you give a aspiring young person that wants to play saxophone or wants to sing professionally?
Well, I'll give this advice not just to the aspiring musician or singer, but to anybody who aspires to do anything. You gotta practice and you gotta keep doing it. You gotta be willing to put in that time. And a lot of times that's where a lot of people miss it. People will pick up something for a period of time and then get sick of it and move on to something else. The ones that you see that are successful in doing it, keep doing it and keep
Consistency.
doing it. Keep doing it. Malcolm Gladwell has this term that he uses called 10,000 hours. Like if somebody puts 10,000 hours into something, they'll become an expert at it or become very proficient at doing it. I don't know if 10,000 hours is necessarily the measurement to use, but if you stick with something long enough and do it consistently, over time you will get better. And I mean, just me on the saxophone is just one example. When I started out playing the horn, it was god awful. I mean, it was like I said, animals howling in the distance and stuff, and just like birds, like, oh my God, like it was at a frequency that certain animals were just like, just I'm going someplace else. And I just kept practicing and kept working at it. And it just, over time, it just got better and better. And I got more and more comfortable doing it and more proficient doing it. And it got better and better. And now it's like it's something I'm doing professionally that, people are paying me and wanting me to do, able to record and play with different artists and do that. But I started when I was in grammar school, and that was what, over 40 years ago. So I know I'm like over years ago. I just it was a long time ago. Okay. So, and I'm still playing, still practicing, still working on it, still learning, still growing. So it's a process. So if you're willing to invest that time, that energy, willing to invest in whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it's singing, playing, whether it's learning a craft, learning a skill, going into medicine, nursing, what have you, just keep at it, keep working at it, keep studying, keep growing, keep learning from folks, learn from people who are doing it as well. If you're able to talk to people, and even if you can get a mentor, somebody who's in that field or doing what you aspire to do, who can give you advice on how to do it and how to do it better, it helps tremendously.
Okay. There are a couple of events that are coming up that I wanted you to share with us. The first one is I Am Able Foundation.
Yes,
Tell
yes.
us what's going on with that.
So the I Am Able Foundation is a mentoring program and program designed to get underrepresented minorities into not only medicine, but healthcare fields across the spectrum: nursing, dentistry, research, physical and occupational therapy, radiology tech, you name it. But I Am Able also now has a law component to it where they're identifying students who want to go to law school or have legal careers. So May 18th through the 20th, we'll be having a conference at Rush University Medical Center in Chicago, for which I'll be helping to host and actually doing the music for the closing ceremony on the 20th, as well as helping to, host the events throughout the conference. So just looking forward to it. I was able to participate in the conference last year and it went very well. But Dr. Sweetie Conway is the founder and director of the I Am Able Foundation and has done a fantastic job with it.
It sounds like it's going to be really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can kind of pinpoint those students that have an interest in medicine and law and kind of help them
Yes.
along the way. By the way, audience, these will be on the FNL Facebook page for you all to look at if you want to get more information. The next one is the Dr. George C. Hall Legacy Gala. Who is Dr. Hall?
From what I recall and understand, he's an African American physician, I think, in Chicago, that I think was responsible for helping to start the Cook County Physicians Association. Now, don't quote me on that. I'm just, trying to remember
Okay.
off the top of my head. But the honoree for this particular gala is Dr. Billy Wright Adams. She's a pediatrician who worked at Cook County Hospital for decades and was actually one of my teachers and instructors when I did part of my training there.
Wow.
Fantastic woman. She has taught hundreds, if not thousands, of people how to not only be better physicians, but better people. So it is well deserved, and I'm looking forward to participating in this event. Our host or mistress of ceremonies for the evening will be ABC's own Samantha Chapman, ABC Chicago. And I will be doing the music with a trio that I play with. There will also be another artist there named Just Flo who does spoken word, but he's also a visual artist and paints and does murals as well. So that'll be Sunday, June 11th, 5 p.m. in Chicago at the Blue Cross Blue Shield building downtown on Randolph. So you can purchase tickets online, and there is a link to the Cook County Physicians Association site where they're selling tickets. So definitely, if you're able to come out, we use this as a scholarship fundraiser. We give out multiple scholarships every year through the Cook County Physicians Association to African American, Latino, underrepresented minority students in the medical schools in the Chicago area.
And so you don't have to be a medical doctor to go to the gala. If you
No.
want to go, you can just purchase the tickets and go.
Yes, you can.
So they do this every year. The gala, they do the gala every year.
We were doing it
Well, COVID
regularly,
probably.
but with the pandemic, we had to stop, the in-person events. So
Okay.
this will be like the first time we've done the gala, I think, since the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. All right. I definitely want to acknowledge some people that are hanging out with you on the show tonight. We weren't able to do that last week. It kind of went over. So I definitely want to try to do that now. So let me get Cheryl up here. Cheryl, you feel like Cheryl's a little worn out too. You feel like doing some Cheryl shout outs? All right. She says, okay. All right, Cheryl, go ahead. Go ahead and let Ron know who's here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great music. Good job. Great
Thank
job.
you.
We loved it. Pardon. Ooh, I don't want to sniff. I can hear myself sniffing. My Lord. Allergies, pardon me, guys. We have, first and foremost, I want to thank Karan, our sis Karan over there on the Twitch side, handling and moderating the comments over there. Hey, sis, good to see you. We have Miss Tina Wilson on YouTube watching as well with us. We have Pastor Neil of True Christian Fellowship on YouTube hanging out with you.
Hey, Pastor Neil.
We have Lady Jackson hanging out with you as well, hailing from Mount Joy here in Edwardsville, Illinois. We have President of the NAACP, Walter Williams, hanging out with us on YouTube as well.
Tina smiling. Did you say hi to Bonnie? Because Bonnie's probably right there too. Hey, Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie girl. Hey, Bonnie. Good to see you. We also have DJ Hands over on Twitch hanging out with us. Hey, DJ Hands.
Hey,
Good to
DJ
see-
Hands.
Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. We got. It's loading real slow. I think that might be it. Oh, we also have Walter. Not Walter. Deborah. We have Deborah Pitts here as well hanging out with us.
Sister Pitts is in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And of course, people can always come back and look at the replay. So that's not it. There's probably a lot going on Friday. It's starting to get warm. So people got other things that they have to do. What was I going to ask you? Do you have any upcoming events, like any CDs that you're working on, or any events that you're going to be doing soon?
I'm working on some new music as we speak, and I'll definitely let you know when that's available. Also working on a couple other projects, including a book that I have started writing, and I'll keep you guys posted.
Whoa!
I was able to partner with an author and a couple of authors that have a publishing group, and they're doing it. So I'm just trying to learn as much as I can from them, but they're helping me along in the process.
Wow. All right, Cheryl, did you get a winner?
Yes, I did. But before we get too far ahead, I also want to say hi, Gigi.
Oh, you better not forget that.
And as well, I know she's sitting next to Great Grandma. Great Grandma.
Yes. All right. So this was a question: in which Washington State city is the Microsoft Corporation headquarters located? Cheryl, do you know what it is?
Yes.
What is it, baby?
It's Redmond.
What? I should ask Dr. Rembert, but that's all right.
Redmond.
Yep. So do we have a winner? Do you got a winner?
Yes, we do. Our winner is Miss Tina Wilson over here on the YouTube.
Congratulations, Tina. Woo-hoo. So we're going to give Tina Dr. Rembert CD entitled Higher. There's like 11 singles on here. It's a big CD, and it's a nice CD. I know that you'll enjoy it. All right. Dr. Rembert, before I go any further, I want to thank you so much. I know you're busy. Thank you so much. It's always fun when you come and hang out with us. Thank you for coming and giving up your time, telling us about the wonderful things that you're doing in the community. That's awesome. Kudos to you. That's strong work. And I like to hear stuff like that. Best wishes on the gala that's coming up, and the I Am Able Foundation event that's coming up, and the book that's coming up, and your CD. Best wishes on all that. And when time permits, you have got to come and hang out with us again.
Definitely, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
having me. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have any final things that you want to say?
it. To everybody who tuned in, really appreciate you guys hanging out with us this evening. And just, a word of encouragement. Just, things have seemed like they've gotten even crazier, not only in this country, but around the world. Wars and rumors of wars. You see young people, just growing up trying to figure out what direction to go in. We're seeing violence and just things that we are just kind of appalled by. But at the same time, Jesus is still Lord. And I
Amen.
thank God for Him being in control, even when it seems like utter chaos is taking over. So I thank God for God being God, and thank God for relationship. And thank God for people that, inspire me, help me to not only restore that faith in humanity, but people that are genuinely making a difference and genuinely care about the communities that they've
Yeah.
been called to serve. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and thank you to all who are trying to make a difference in this world.
Amen. Well said. All right. Next week, we have worshiper and entrepreneur Sierra Rivers. She will be here next week. She's been here before. She was dabbing in a little bit of life insurance, so I'm not sure which way she wants to do with her interview. But you all tune in for that. She's been on the news singing. She used to live in St. Louis, and I believe they moved to, I think they're in North Carolina. So yeah, she's a sweet soul. Yeah, so you all tune in for that. All right, I can't believe we almost done. I got 5 minutes. What are we gonna do with 5 minutes, Ron?
Play some music.
Oh, that's right. I got another video. All right, so we're gonna end it. We're gonna end the show with the woman's work, or should I do fill me up? Which one you want?
Uh, Probably this woman's work because we only got 5 minutes.
Okay, well tell us about that. Tell us about that video. This
Love
song.
Maxwell, love his music, and I mean he's just got this different type of voice and vibe. So really enjoy listening to his music and even just playing some of his works. So
All right, you all have a safe weekend. Have a nice weekend, and Lord willing, we will see you next week. Here is Women's Work. It's taking us out. Dr. Renderer is taking us out. Take care, Ron.
thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right.